I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I am your host, Richie, and on today's show, we're going to be doing the Week 14 NFL preview. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Without further ado, this is an action-packed week, ton of games, going to be a really strong week. And it starts with Thursday Night Football. We got the Dallas Cowboys 6-5-1, currently on a 3-game winning streak, going into Detroit to take on the 7-5 Lions. Lions are a little desperate right now, in large part due to their loss to the Green Bay Packers, as they are currently not in a position for the playoffs right now. They are on the outside looking in. So definitely a lot of concern coming into this game for the Detroit Lions. Dallas Cowboys, in a matter of a week, you defeat last year's 2 Super Bowl participants. It's an impressive situation when you consider the bad start that the Cowboys got off to. And after their 3-game winning streak, are now currently in a position to win this division, win the NFC East, a division that so many people felt that they did not have a realistic chance of winning. Keys to victory for each team. By the way, side note, it looks like Amon-Ra St. Brown will not be playing in this game. That looms large for Detroit. For Detroit, you got to ride Jahmyr Gibbs until the wheels fall off. Dallas has improved somewhat against the run, but they are still not the best against the run. You have to bang them with Jahmyr Gibbs early and often, in my opinion, in order to get the best results. On the other side, Dak Prescott has been playing at a very, very big time level, and you have to attack the Detroit secondary if you're the Dallas Cowboys. A combination of CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, you get Ferguson involved in that as well. And, you're going to try to get the most out of your running game with Williams and co. But I think you're looking at a game that could have a lot of fireworks here. I think you're looking at a game that could be reminiscent of the one they had a couple of seasons ago, where Dan Campbell infamously went for 2 points and the Lions lost by a point. I'm looking for a very high-scoring game here. Give me the Dallas Cowboys 33. Give me the Detroit Lions 31. Brandon Aubrey walk-off field goal. I think this is going to be a really entertaining game. And, the week ends on Monday Night Football, where the Philadelphia Eagles will be heading to SoFi. So, a lot of ramifications here for the NFC East. Moving it along, the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones, Cinderella story of the season. The Colts and Daniel Jones, very much a Cinderella story. But it's been kind of turning into the pumpkin now, as they've lost 3 of the last 4 games, and have actually lost a grip on the AFC South, as they are currently not the first place team. It is the team they're playing in Duval, Jacksonville Jaguars. Daniel Jones, tough guy. Got to give him this. Playing with a broken fibula, definitely a very painful injury and something that limits his running. So that's obviously going to hurt the offense when you take that into consideration because, um, a person that is known for getting out of the pocket, making plays with their legs, when you take that element away, it makes your offense a lot more predictable. Jonathan Taylor is going to have to step up big. And the big security blanket, Tyler Warren, tight end, you're going to have to hope that is winning his one-on-ones as he's going to have a day. On the other side, Liam Cohn's guys have proven that they have a legitimate amount of toughness on both sides of the football. You know, Similar to how we talked about Baker Mayfield in the past, I think it's very much coincides with what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. Are you going to get good Trevor or bad Trevor? When he's good Trevor, this Jacksonville Jaguars team wins a lot of games. Travis Etienne definitely should be a focal point of what they're doing on that side of the football as well. And this game is huge. The winner of this game takes first place in the South, sole possession. With only a few weeks left of the season, this is a huge matchup. When it comes to the kicking game, undeniably, I have to trust the Jacksonville Jaguars more as the Colts actually release their kicker, Michael Badgley. They've had a bit of a revolving door there. And, this time of the season, it's a little nerve wracking when you don't know who your kicker is or who's going to be the kicker from a week to week basis. When you're a playoff team or trying to get into the postseason, that could be the difference between winning and losing. Kickers sometimes only, in terms of point value, are on the field for maybe 5 plays a game, 6 plays a game. But those 6 plays are very huge, especially if they're 3-point attempts. Um, I got to go with the Jaguars here. They're playing good at home. And unfortunately, I just think that the Colts are starting to go into a bit of a tailspin. I'm not going to blame this on Daniel Jones. I mean, he's hurt right now. But I don't feel that they got that same magic that they had a month ago. And, it's going to be a popular thing to say that Jones is running out of juice and not a second half quarterback. Going back to 2022, when Jones started 7-2, the team only ended up winning 9 games that year. They were 9-6-1, if my memory serves me right, were the Giants. And, they won the playoff game in Minnesota, ultimately fell short in Philly, and were a game away from the NFC title game that year. But the second half of that season was not very pleasant for Jones and the Giants. They did get a huge primetime win. This is different. They've got a good team. Pierce out of Cincinnati's been stepping up in a big way. I just like the home team here. If this team was in Indy, I might favor the Colts a little more, but give me the Jaguars. I'm going to go in the mid 20s here. Give me the Jaguars 27. Give me the Indianapolis Colts 23. Close one-score victory for the Jaguars as the Jaguars will take over first place. And don't forget about the Texans. Texans are still in this division race as well. In the Mediocrity Bowl here, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-6, traveling to Baltimore to take on the 6-6 Ravens. Both these teams are playing bad football right now. Both these teams are coming off of bad losses last week. Baltimore, self-inflicted wounds. Also got to give props to the Cincinnati defense a week ago as they really just utterly dominated the Baltimore offense. A lot of mistakes made by Lamar Jackson and co. Just a nightmarish kind of game. And you knew things were bad when Isaiah Likely. Have I gotten my flu shot yet? Um, nah. I did get over the flu though. Very random question. Super Mario on the icon there. All right. Where was I? Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Definitely two teams that are struggling. Aaron Rodgers looking every bit of a guy that's ready to pack it in. Head coach Mike Tomlin has definitely looked aggravated. The media tried to get Rodgers to say something negative about Tomlin. He extinguished that quickly and said, it's on us, it's on the players. But most definitely going to be an interesting matchup. This is one of the newer rivalries in the grand scheme of the NFL, but always one that provides a lot of drama. The reason I have no other choice but to take the Ravens here, even though they're coming off a stinker, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers offense has just fallen into the abyss. This team cannot do anything right now. They are not moving the ball well on the ground. They are not moving the ball well in the air. They're just not doing anything correctly. Um, and Baltimore, prior to the real lackluster performance against the Bengals, was playing a little better. I mean, well enough to get themselves back into the race. Give me the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 27-17. Ravens with a 10-point victory here. I just don't like what I'm seeing from the Steelers. And watch out for the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals still very much have a shot in this division. And we're going to flip it over to the Bengals right now. They are playing in Western New York this week. 4-8 Bengals as Joe Burrow just came back at the 8-4 Buffalo Bills. Um, the star power is here. Two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The Bills have had their share of issues on the defensive side of the ball and some lackluster games against some inferior competition, losses to the Miami Dolphins. They got beat by the Atlanta Falcons this year. A couple of weeks ago against the Houston Texans, their offensive line was just completely overwhelmed, and offensively, they could not get anything going. One of the worst games that Josh Allen played this year. But Josh Allen has played the role of Superman time and time again, getting so many people involved in his offense. And I'm expecting a shootout here. I have a feeling that both these quarterbacks are going to be revved up. I think you're looking at a situation where the team that has the ball last could ultimately win this thing. In Cincinnati, I would probably take the Bengals, but here in Buffalo, I have no choice but to take the Bills. I would be very surprised if the Bills squander this opportunity at home. And this is probably the final game of the season the Bengals can afford to lose if they have any inklings and desires of winning that AFC North. I would say 9 is the most they could lose. You finish 8-9, but if you have the right amount of wins on the tie-breaking metric, maybe. Because the Steelers and the Ravens have not given me a lot of confidence. But give me the Buffalo Bills by a score of 34-27, a 7-point victory for Buffalo at home. I'm expecting a shootout here. New Orleans Saints got some news in baseball. Emilio Pagan is back to the Cincinnati Reds 2-year deal. All right, New Orleans Saints in Tampa. The long-awaited return of running back Bucky Irving definitely paying dividends last week as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did just enough to beat a bad Arizona Cardinals team. Saints are also a bad team. Tyler Shuck, just not the dude. This is a team that's going to definitely have to address the quarterback position next year. You have an aging Alvin Kamara. This is a team that's just not in a good place, and they're going to be picking rather high. Tampa, some good news on the horizon. Mike Evans' practice window has opened up where he might be able to play this week. It's not going to happen, but the fact that he's back in practice means that he should be back before the regular season concludes. And I'm sure fantasy owners are happy about that as well. Um, in my opinion, it would take a horrific performance by Tampa to lose this game. I don't see it happening. I think Tampa is going to dominate and take care of business in a much more convincing fashion than they did last week. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27. Give me the New Orleans Saints 10. I like Tampa front to finish to just take care of business here, and they have to because the surging Carolina Panthers, who are on the bye week, are on their ass right now. Kind of like an interlude here, a couple of crummy games, and I'm putting this on the less notable section. These are my picks. Cam versus Shador is the lone storyline. I got the Browns winning 20-17 over the Tennessee Titans. It would be moronic, for lack of a better word, for the Tennessee Titans to win this week, considering that they are out of the race. And I mean completely out of the race, as in they got the one pick, and you don't want to squander the one pick. Washington Commanders by 1 point over the Minnesota Vikings, 17-16. Vikings definitely regretting letting Sam Darnold go. I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy can't be the answer in the future. He is most definitely not the answer now. And I've got the New York Jets falling in overtime at home to the Miami Dolphins, 23-17. Gang Green has shown some signs of life lately. Dramatic win last week against the Falcons, another team that's not good. But the Jets right now got to stockpile picks. Just got to think about the future. Aaron Glenn has a tall order turning that team around. Mike McDaniel has his boys playing a lot better, and the Dolphins are gaining respectability. And when you consider that they lost Tyreek Hill for the season and that there have been a lot of whispers about the future of Mike McDaniel, this team has played for him, and it looks like McDaniel will actually be back. But these are probably the three less notable games, most less notable games of the week. So I've kind of pushed them all together. Seattle Seahawks traveling to Atlanta to take on the 4-8 Falcons. Seattle has a chance to jump into a first place tie or continue to stay in a first place tie with the Los Angeles Rams. They have a loss against the Rams already. There is a rematch on the horizon. As the Falcons go, a disappointing loss season. Kirk Cousins under center. And, I've said it on previous shows. This is kind of like Kirk Cousins' audition to find employment next year. The team I just got done talking about, Minnesota Vikings, I think could have brought Kirk back in given his offensive knowledge. As the game goes, it should be an easy day in the park for Sam Darnold and co. I really don't see Atlanta having much resistance in stopping the Seattle run game. Jackson Smith and Jigba definitely could have a big game here. And the Seahawks are the kind of team that if you take your foot off the gas just for a little, you can find yourself down by multiple scores quickly. In my opinion, in the entire NFL, this is the most dangerous wild card team right now. And in part, I'm saying that because I think the Green Bay Packers, although they're in wild card position, are going to be the division winner when it's all said and done in the North. But as this division goes, the West, I think the Seahawks are the most equipped to defeat the Rams, who are probably the biggest favorites in the NFC right now. Give me the Seattle Seahawks in a convincing 34-17 victory over the Falcons. I don't think the game will even be as close as that score would indicate. Moving it along, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 9-3, traveling to Arizona to take on the lowly 3-9 Arizona Cardinals. By virtue of the win against Seattle earlier in the year, the Rams are in sole possession of first at the moment. A loss here can open the door for the 49ers as well, as they still have an outside chance of winning this division. At minimum, it looks like the 49ers have a decent enough shot to make the postseason. Rams are coming off a rare loss. They're having a terrific season. A couple of mistakes on behalf of Matthew Stafford, which have been few and far between this year, as he is probably the leading candidate to win the NFL MVP this year. But a couple of picks, one pick six to Mike Jackson. The Rams did not play their best game and still only lost by 4. So this is a team that is still very dangerous. Great front seven, probably the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver with Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua. And the Cardinals are just kind of playing out the season. For fantasy owners, this could low-key be a good game for Jacoby Brissett, as I imagine that the Cardinals will be passing quite a bit because they may be down by a substantial amount early in the game. I'm looking for a lot of points here. I think the Rams are going to put it on the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the Los Angeles Rams by a final of 38-24. And once again, a game that is not even as close as the score sounds. I can see Arizona picking up some points in garbage time. Rams will keep sole possession of first, but the Seahawks are right there with them, so they got to be careful. The oldest rivalry in the NFL adds a new chapter, a new page, as the 9-3 Chicago Bears, who are currently the 1 seed in the NFC, travel to Wisconsin, taking on the Green Bay Packers at 8-3-1. The winner of this game will have sole possession of first place. Jordan Love really coming off a phenomenal Thanksgiving performance. The Green Bay offense honestly looked unstoppable against the Detroit Lions. They get a season sweep in that series, which is massive because the Lions are currently knocked out of the playoff picture. They're on the outside looking in. As these Bears go, some luck, some just playing good football, but they're coming off a big statement win in Philadelphia over the defending world champions. And I must say that Caleb Williams, a huge jump into year two from a, let's just say, less than savory year one. Year one, he was overshadowed by the other rookies, Bo Nix, and of course the offensive rookie of the year last season, Jaden Daniels, who unfortunately in year two is going through a lot of injury issues as the Commanders have just had a season to forget. Both these teams are making a true commitment to running the rock, and it's going to require running the ball at a high frequency for either one of these offenses to succeed. But truth be told, out of these two quarterbacks, I do trust Jordan Love a little bit more as he has been in a few more of these bigger games. It also helps when you're in Lambeau. I like this Packer defense a lot. This Packer defense has been putting the clamps down on a lot of teams lately. I do expect the Bears to compete early, but I think the Packers distance themselves in the third quarter, take it into the fourth, and win by multiple scores. Give me the Green Bay Packers by a score of 30-17 over the Chicago Bears. I am calling for a fourth quarter shutout. A fourth quarter shutout, which would distance the Packers from the Bears in this division by not much, just a half game, as that tie could benefit the Packers down the stretch. Denver Broncos, who currently have a share of the best record in the AFC, 10-2. They're actually just behind the New England Patriots, who are currently 11-2. The Patriots are on the bye week after that beating they put on the New York Football Giants. Um, there is nothing about these teams that is close. The only thing I could say is that the last time these two teams played, it was very competitive. The Broncos have had a weird propensity for playing down to their competition, but I would be awfully surprised after they've already done that once against the Raiders that they don't lock in and blow their doors off. Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, good coaching matchup, but not the kind of justice that it would be if this was New Orleans and the Seahawks, say, 8 years ago, because Pete Carroll just doesn't have the horses on that Vegas team. Especially like I alluded to, the fact that the Denver Broncos had such an abysmal performance against the Raiders the first time, they were barely won the game. Abysmal performance on offense. Defense, they played great. I expect more of that defense to show out and do their thing. Give me the Denver Broncos 27. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders 10, a 17-point victory for the road team, which will tie them with the New England Patriots for best record in the conference. Sunday night football, primetime scenario. We got the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs, 7-5, traveling to 6-6. I beg to ask the question, is this the Chiefs' last stand? I'm going to go as far as saying possibly. But over the years, we have learned never to really count these guys out. But the odds are definitely stacked against them right now. As the Texans go, CJ Stroud still not playing terrific. I actually liked what I was seeing from Davis Mills when he filled in for an injured Stroud. But the Houston Texans do sport the best defense in the NFL. It's going to require a total team effort for the Kansas City Chiefs to win. It does help that they are in Arrowhead. This could be a similar kind of scenario to the game that they played against the Colts, where they were playing from behind the entire game until they finally had the drive to put it away. I'm expecting a semi low scoring game here, but it's hard for me to bet against the combo of Spags and Andy Reid in a must-win game, as the Chiefs are currently on the outside looking in. But their fortunes could change with a Charger loss this week, and then they get to play the Chargers next week and try to even out things, as they were defeated in week one on a neutral field in Brazil. Close game. Infielder Miguel Rojas and the Dodgers agreed to a 1 year, $5.5 million deal, getting some baseball news coming over as the winter meetings will be cooking up soon, waiting for my Yanks to do something substantial. I like the home team here. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs by a score. It's going to be close. Give me the Chiefs 24. Give me the Texans 20. 24-20 in favor of the home team as they are going to keep their playoff hopes alive. And I hope to tie the Buffalo Bills as the only team to go to 4 consecutive Super Bowls. The Chiefs did a little more winning, though. Monday Night Football, the week concludes in SoFi. Los Angeles Chargers with a record of 8-4, hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, who have a twin record, 8-4. Eagles are currently leading the NFC East, but not by much, as the Dallas Cowboys have been reinvigorated and they are really starting to apply pressure on the Eagles. It goes without saying that the huge question going into this game is going to be the health of quarterback Justin Herbert. If he is unable to play, he just got surgery on his non throwing hand. That opens the door for Trey Lance to get the start. And although Coach Jim Harbaugh does like Trey Lance's stature, he likes his skill set, he feels that he's a quarterback that he could groom and make into a winner, just like he is doing with Justin Herbert. It is less than ideal this juncture of the year to put Lance in front of that Eagles defense. And while the Eagles offense has been struggling mightily, I uh I don't see them losing three in a row here. I know the Dallas Cowboys fan base is going to be rooting hard for the Chargers to win this game at home, but something tells me that between the Chiefs needing the Chargers to lose this game and the Eagles can ill afford to go on a 3 game losing streak, I'm going to be taking the road team here. I'm still waiting for Saquon Barkley to get going, and I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. You got two good defenses here. I'm going to be on the optimistic side of things and say that Justin Herbert plays, but I still think you're looking at a low scoring affair. I still think you're looking at a kind of a war of attrition, grinded out kind of game, similar to what we saw the Eagles play against the Green Bay Packers a few weeks back in Lambeau. Give me the road team here. I think the Eagles are going to respond and come back. Low scoring affair. Give me the Eagles 23-20. Last second field goal by Jake Elliott for the W as the Eagles put a stop to their losing streak. Final thoughts before I get out of here. These races are really getting good right now. You know, so much left to be decided in almost every division in the NFL. I think the only division that most people feel comfortable crowning a winner in without any kind of question would probably be the AFC East with the kind of season that the New England Patriots are having. And I guess in second place would be Denver because they do have a 2 game lead with not many left to play over the Los Angeles Chargers. But, these other divisions right now, the West in the NFC could go one of three ways. You got the North in the NFC coming down to the wire between the Bears and the Packers. Cowboys and Eagles on each other's heels. That's going to be a great race in the AFC East. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have won the division so many years in a row, going back to the Tom Brady era, find themselves looking over their shoulder at a surging Carolina Panthers team. So much left to be decided this particular week. As the fantasy playoffs go, I am a little concerned about the availability of Justin Herbert.
Sorry, I needed some entry music. I apologize for interrupting.
No, that was awesome. I enjoyed that. I was actually wrapping up my final game, but the good thing about you popping in is you're going to give me a prediction on every game now, and I could shut the hell up.
Oh, jeez. Okay. You got to go back through now?
Oh, that ain't no problem to me, dude. My typical show is
Okay.
an hour. I'm at the 30-minute mark.
All right. Let's go. Let's roll.
Yeah,
Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm tardy to the party.
No, not your fault. Idris didn't make it today, so I'm assuming Idris might have fallen asleep because I know he's been on fire lately. I think Idris might have just
Oh,
not
good.
woken up.
Yeah.
All right, well,
It happens.
we're going to start at Monday, and then we're going to go backwards. Monday Night Football shed. Philadelphia Eagles at 8-4, traveling to LA. I did pick the Eagles to win this thing 23-20, mainly predicated on the fact that Justin Herbert, whether he plays or not, it's not 100%. And if it's Trey Lance, that's a tall order against that Eagle defense. I'll be rooting for the Chargers, of course, but I am picking the Eagles by 3.
I like the Eagles as well. I mean, Herbert's hand is a concern. He left the first half last week and came back with the glove on his hand. I'll be honest, he's a baller. I think he's going to go out there. I think he's going to play. I like Justin Herbert and his swagger a lot. He's still got a lot of weapons around him. I do believe Amari and Hampton should suit up come Monday. So I bet you they're going to do a lot more running with Amari and Hampton and Vidal. That'll help Herbert out a lot. The offensive line has really been the biggest problem with the Chargers this year. Losing Alt and Slater earlier in the year. Man, I'll tell you what though, dude. If they had their starting left and right tackle, the Chargers would be. I mean, they'd be competing with Denver for the best in the AFC West. I mean, look what the Giants did to him. I mean, I know the Giants have a good pass rush and stuff, but I mean, Herbert was just on his back the whole time. I mean, that offensive line is just shredded. I like Jalen Carter to get to him early and often. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one, 27-23.
Yeah. I do want to ask you this shit. We know that in large part with the Philadelphia Eagles, a big holdup with their offensive inadequacies this year after coming off of such a stellar season, winning the Super Bowl, is the OC, who is Nick Sirianni's choice, has really underachieved. And do you think that they have a big solution coming, or do you think that this is just them getting a little fortunate because they do have a good enough defense and they do have a propensity for finding themselves winning these grinded out kind of games?
Great question. I honestly, when Kellen Moore was there, this was not a thing. I think it has a lot more to do with the play calling, and it almost seems like, like that Super Bowl slump. You know what I mean? Like they're firing all cylinders. We saw this a couple years ago with them as well. And then the Niners went in there and blew them up, and they lost the first round of the playoffs and had the best record in the NFL at the time. This is more of the same. I don't know. Their offensive play calling is mind-boggling to me. I mean, Devontae Smith's having a decent season. A.J. Brown, I don't know why they don't use him more. Goddard is a good tight end, and Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, you tell me he's not top 3 running back in the league, and he's just not getting the ball, and there's no holes for him. I don't know if their offensive line's, not what it used to be. The play calling's not there, and people aren't getting their assignments or what. But I think there's a lot going on wrong there.
Just a year ago, this guy ran for 2K, but just a couple of years ago, the legendary Jason Kelce retired, and maybe it wasn't evident in year one of his departure, but did it occur to anyone that not having a second field general, because I always consider phenomenal centers like a second field general, kind of like the catcher to the pitcher, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Kelce was all that. And I'm not just saying, Jason Kelce's not there, because they did replace him with a pretty good center. But to your point, it just seems like blocking schemes schematically. And I'll be honest, man, there's a lot of miles on Saquon's still relatively young body. And I do believe that also plays a hand in this because, he put it all on the line for Philly when they gave him a commitment. But, there's a recourse when you put it all on the line. And, you being a 49er fan, you've seen your team in the thick of it for a decent amount of years, chasing the NFC title and ultimately trying to win a 6th Super Bowl to tie New England and Pittsburgh. So the point is, better than most that when your team plays so many games for so many consecutive years, there's a beating that does have a recourse in the next season coming. I think last year for your 49ers was a good indicator of that.
Oh, I totally agree. We do the same thing every year, right? The Niners are so banged up, they're never going to do anything. I mean, again, we're here again, right? They're actually turning some heads, even for myself for that matter. But, they losing Bosa and Fred Warner, 2 All-Pros, that defense isn't going to hold up. I mean, they have a very weak schedule too, and that's why the record is what it is. But yes, they have beaten some good teams. But
you can't put a price on coaching because at the end of the day, even though the Rams lit you up in Santa Clara, you had that gutsy win in SoFi earlier in the year, and all the wins count. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys do have a W over the Seahawks this year, correct?
Yes, that was the first game of the season, and it was at Seattle.
That's right. Because in a very rare situation, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Patriots all have better records on the road this year, which is a weird one.
Yeah. Especially with the 12s with Seattle, man. That's like the worst place to play, man. And man, especially when they had the Legion of Boom there, being a Niners fan, that was brutal.
Yeah, they've lost a little bit of that mystique since the departure of some of their franchise guys. And to your point, the defense, which was the backbone of that team for so many years with those wars with the 49ers. But I'll tell you what, and I'm going to talk about them, obviously, again. Those Seahawks pose a real threat to the Rams. I'm happy you showed up because these games were too good to just have me, give a logical spin on each of them. I needed somebody to debate with and talk with, so I'm glad you're
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah, sorry I was late, man. A lot going on. That's all.
Nah, buddy, it's all good, man. Between the holidays, and this is like the in-between, the two holidays, I get it, dude. 2 weeks, I got little man's birthday. 11 days after that, it's Christmas. Yeah, and I think Jen's putting on some eczema cream on him, and it sounded like he was screaming bloody murder. I'm like, Jesus, what's going on with these people here? But
yeah, we had a nor'easter come in. We got feet of snow early December. It's just depressing. But
I get it, dude. I get
that's
it.
why, I live here. It is what it is.
I might have to come out there and visit and go hang in the man cave. We'll go live from the man cave.
That'd be a good time.
It would be a good time. Idris might actually be making the trip out for Noah's birthday, so
cool.
We're gonna see where that takes us. Idris has been very motivated lately, just pushing out all these shorts. We've been getting some good views on these shorts.
Yeah, I love it. I love doing it. The more content, the more platform the stuff you put on platforms, the more traction we're going to get, right? So it's
no doubt.
Perfect.
All right, I'm going to put my camera back on. Moving it along, Sunday Night Football. I picked the Chiefs to win this thing 24-20, in large part because of history. I know that this Chiefs team has been tested. The year that they were able to outlast your team, I think most of us didn't even have them getting that far. They did. We didn't have them beating Buffalo, or some of us did. You know what I mean. Over the years, they have defied the odds. In coaching matters, Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, probably the best duo of any team in the league in terms of the coaching standpoint. But, this is not the same Chiefs that were putting it on teams when they still had Tyreek Hill. This is not the same Chiefs team that was as dynamic. Travis Kelce still has some moments of brilliance, but you could tell he's slowing down. The Chiefs defense still gets it when they need to. And I think Kareem Hunt has been a great addition to this team. And I think he's going to be the big reason why they might be able to pull this one out.
I disagree with you. I like Houston. I know Kansas City's desperate. The best defense in the NFL is Houston, and they're going to come at Mahomes early and often. Give me some Danielle Hunter. Man, Mahomes is just going to be under duress all game. Kelce is a lot slower, to your point that you added. He's still a premier tight end. I'm not going to take that away from him. But yes, he's lost not a step. He's lost a couple of steps for sure.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, since he came back, has been an absolute gamer. Xavier Worthy, I don't know if they use him enough, and they're definitely not utilizing Hollywood Brown. I mean, Hollywood Brown isn't who he was.
He kind of plummeted on the depth chart when some of the younger guys got healthy or off suspension or both.
You're not seeing Smith-Schuster anymore. Pacheco, Pacheco's going to be gone after the season. Kareem Hunt's just been an absolute warhorse for them.
I think the worst place to be.
I don't think they take him out.
Yeah, I think the worst place to be if you're a Kansas City Chief is to be the starting running back. Because even going back to like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he got replaced by Pacheco. Now Pacheco is running out of juice, and it looks like Kareem Hunt's having the second stanza on his career. And, there's a lot of motivation there for him to do it because he wasn't part of their better times because, he had that issue off the field. Yep. He got relocated to Cleveland. And unlike so many that go to Cleveland, he ended up better for it.
I agree. CJ Stroud's going to be, this will be a second game back. Nico Collins is just an absolute baller. I love him. I think you're going to get a lot of Willie Marks in this to keep him off kilter. D'Amico Ryan's, I know he's the head coach, but man, that defense is absolutely legit. Like,
no doubt.
They're
He's the guy
fierce.
that really ascended as a real head coach because, I'm not blaming Robert Saleh for the things that went wrong in East Rutherford because he's doing a hell of a job with the Niners again. This is a dude that defensively has just been able to lock in and get the most out of his guys.
Yeah, go ahead and see if you can name a couple of players on the 49ers defense. They have a makeshift team that they're just pulling guys from the street and signing them. And Saleh's doing the best he can with what he's got.
Coaching matters, man.
It really does. Saleh's a fantastic defensive coach. Look what happened to the Jets last year after they fired him. That defense went from like number 5 overall down to like the bottom half of the league because of
it was such an
difference
irresponsible thing because no matter what anybody tells me, I know that Aaron Rodgers had something to do with his departure. And when you give Aaron that kind of power and he's going to leave you guys in a matter of months anyway, it just speaks on the ineptitude of that horrific Jets organization because, yeah, I get it. My team is on the wrong side of shit too. We have been bad for a while. I more than understand that. But my whole thing in a nutshell is like, what the hell is going on? Like Woody Johnson, give it up, dude.
Dude, the Jets are just an absolute. I mean, you know what? I'll be honest. I think Aaron Glenn's got something. I think after the trade deadline, those Jets are showing people that, without Quinnen Williams, without Sauce Gardner, they're by far their best two, at least they're stars, right? They're the people with the most publicity are playing. We're still here and we're going to still fight for Aaron Glenn. And look at them. They've won 2 games since then. They only won 1 game with them. I mean, I think the Jets are on the up and up. Say what you want, I guess, but they're showing some grit that they haven't had in the last couple of years.
They showed some guts in that Cincy game. Yeah, I tend to agree, and they lost a couple of close ones too. I got no bad for the Jets. We share a stadium with them. The last time that I had any kind of real opinions or like unsavory shit to say about the Jets was when Rex was over there and when Revis Island was talking ill about Victor Cruz. Like, who's this guy? I'm like, who this guy is. The guy leads the NFC in rushing, in passing, receiving yards. Like, and, the Giants had that big Christmas Eve game that kind of sent the Jets into a decade-long abyss. But the Giants weren't far behind, oddly enough, even though they did win the bowl. That Christmas Eve game was the last time that both these teams were really getting it. The Jets came off of back-to-back AFC title game appearances. They had that Christmas Eve game, which was super rare, where you have an interconference game of 2 teams in the same city that the losers eliminated. It's very rare that you get that scenario.
Yeah,
it was cool. Jets. Go ahead, Idris.
Okay. Oh, with the Jets, and you said it, about to call you Carson Wentz.
I'm still mending my foot, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Oh, you must be getting ready. Oh, dang it, man. Oh, my camera don't want to stay still. You said it. Basically, they're playing better. Let's get it right, man. Let me cut this camera off till I get everything straight. They're getting together, without Quinnen Williams, without Sauce Gardner. And Sauce Gardner's hurt,
Yeah.
So, I'm going to move this over just for a second, and then we'll circle back to Shed's pick. I know he's favoring the Texans. I'll get a final from him in a minute.
Okay.
I put the Jets in the less notables just so that way you guys could see here. So these are like my 3 picks for the 3 crummiest games of the week. I do have the Jets falling short to Miami 23-17 at home. The Browns edging out the Titans. And I got the Commanders winning by a point in Minnesota, but continue, Idris.
Yeah, I think they're playing for Aaron Glenn. I think they got that toughness in them. And they've won 2 in a row without Justin Fields. They've been doing it with Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
And I've always said Tyrod Taylor, he may not be a starter anymore, but he's somebody who's going to keep you afloat.
He's formidable.
They're going to have to draft a quarterback next season, man. They're going to have to because we're seeing Justin Fields is not the guy.
Or bring in an established veteran that's better than what you got currently.
Cousins, I'll bring him in. If he's going to be a stopgap, I'll bring him in.
I don't know if Atlanta's going to let him go. I mean, Penix is definitely going to be the starter again next year, but man, I mean, they're still not winning even with Cousins. But the last game wasn't on Cousins. I'll be honest.
No.
But if I'm Atlanta, I hold on to him unless someone wants to throw something nice at me. You know what I mean?
Ready to go because he said it. I want to be traded. And
yeah, but I don't think he wants to go to a competitor too. I don't think he'll want to go to the Jets. To be honest,
it's just Adam Thielen said today because they cut him, and he said he's retiring after this year, but he wants to finish the season with a contender. I don't know what Minnesota's doing up there.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Could have got Kirk Cousins at the free.
Well, they should have kept Sam Darnold. I mean, they put all their eggs in one basket with J.J. McCarthy, and that has done nothing but backfire.
That is literally the way I put it too. And
no backup. Even
revisiting before the season started, they should have just brought in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I have a back there. Somebody.
I mean, I played for them, and I thought I did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
obviously I got hurt, but I'll be honest. If I was still healthy, I think I'm starting over JJ, even though JJ is quote unquote their franchise guy, because I could actually not throw 4 picks a game and actually make a couple of throws that he's just, he's rusty. The speed hasn't caught up to him yet.
And I'm sick and tired of you not getting your just due. Just like Phil Simms going back in 1990. At the end of the day, you were an MVP candidate that won 10 games for those shitbirds. And what do? They act like you didn't put them back on. And Nick Foles gets all this credit, which is just egregious.
Yeah, Nicky Six took my thunder.
Something else, Carson Wentz. You know who else you can take the place of? Sean McVay. Y'all kind of
head coach.
Y'all kind of look alike. Yeah, you just
I don't hate that.
You just like
we're both handsome. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, man. I got to maintain my manhood. I don't want people to say, "Yeah, I heard Bosco say this guy on the show with Carson Wentz was handsome."
So out of these 3 games here, fellas, do you agree with these predictions, or are you going in a different direction here?
I like Cleveland over Tennessee. Give me the Commanders over the Vikings as well. Jaden Daniels is he's like 50-50 whether he's going to play or not. If he plays, they're definitely going to win. But they showed a lot of
I'm starting him in fantasy this week.
And then what was the Jets game? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take the Jets at home. I like the way they're playing. I think they're going to stop HN, and then they're going to try to make Tua beat them, and that's how they're going to win because HN is their offense.
Connecting in the end zone lately.
Not at all. And their whole offense is HN. So if they can stop him and make Tua beat him,
well, I'm going
give me the Jets.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jets. I'm gonna go Vikings, man. If Jaden Daniel plays, I'm going, it's Commanders. But as of right now, I'm going Vikings. I'm gonna call it upset, man. I don't know if you want to call it an upset though. I'm going with Tennessee, man. I know they got to go against Myles Garrett, and he'll probably get the sack record game. But I'm gonna take my chance with Cam Ward, man.
He only got Purdy once. I was surprised.
Yeah, no. Did you hear Purdy after the game?
Bro.
No. Yeah, it's funny. Purdy, Myles Garrett apologized. Like, man, I'm sorry. He said, "Nah, man, you woke me up."
That's a fierce dude, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Not a guy that you want chasing you on any Sunday.
Oof.
No.
All right, we're gonna go back to this game, Idris.
Houston, my final prediction for Houston. Give me the Houston Texans to win this one 23-20.
All right, Idris, how do you see this playing out? Desperate Chiefs team currently on the outside looking in against the number 1 defense in the league.
That's the thing. I'm going to go KC, but in the close one. I'm going to go 23-21 KC.
That's awfully close to my final. I got them winning 24-20.
Yeah, it could go either way because Houston is playing. They got Stroud back. They got that defense. And KC is on the ropes, dude.
Shed and I both were on the Eagles here for Monday Night Football. How do you see this playing out? Justin Herbert, I think, is going to play, but we'll see.
I don't care if Justin Herbert play. I don't care if Trey Lance play. I don't care. Lance Link, Secret Chimp. I don't care who's playing. I'm going to Chargers.
All right, he's on the San Diego Superchargers. Air Coryell,
like the Giants.
Yeah. All right. Denver Broncos at the Vegas Raiders. The only thing I said earlier on this was Denver has had a bad habit of playing down to the level of the teams that they're playing. They still win the games, but
Mhm.
not as convincingly. But yet, they'll open up a can on somebody good. The Raiders and the Broncos played one of the most boring football games less than a month ago. It was a 10-7 win for the Broncos in Mile High. I don't see the Broncos playing that flat twice against a bad Raider team. My final was 27-17 in favor of Denver.
I'm going 30-17 Denver.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're going to score 17 unless it's
Right,
garbage
exactly.
time.
Yeah.
Give me the Denver Broncos 28. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders 10.
Give me 14. Yeah, they might not make 14. I'm going to go 30-14. They might not make that. They might not make 10.
And this is what I say every week. I'm going to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
I say it every week about the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys suck.
I know the Giants are not winning, but at least we look good in most of our games. The Raiders just suck. Period.
Yeah. We're like the greatest 2-11 team in the history of the league.
It's the league.
You know,
The Raiders suck. They are 2 and yeah.
Yeah. Our special teams, on the other hand, between Younghoe Koo, I promised Brett I would drop a Patriot shout here. You know, I'm a man of my word. They whipped our ass. Brett,
That's
go
a
to
joke.
hell. Go to hell, Brett. Let's start there. But the Patriots, I haven't seen them hit like that in years. I mean, they looked like the ferocious defenses of the first part of their dynasty when they had guys running around like Willie McGinnis, Teddy Johnson, Teddy Bruschi, Brian Cox. That's what they looked like.
But you see on Facebook when it was 10-0, I pretty much said, y'all see why I smoke? You see why I get high? Because I knew when it was 10-0, I was like, this is over.
When they knocked off Gunnar Olszewski's logo on his helmet, my God. They literally knocked off the logo.
The logo. We knew we were in trouble.
All right, Brett, this is where it stops, and ends. This is what I'm going to say about your Patriots. Well-coached team, great rookie, good tandem with him and Ramondre. You got a nice tight end in Hunter Henry. But the backbone of your team, besides the cerebral quarterback that continues to get better in Drake May, Mike Vrabel and that defense. That defense is legit, and you guys are primed to literally make a Super Bowl run. It could very well happen this year. I'm giving all the credit where it's due. New England Patriots are back.
That's why I'm not saying nothing to Brett, because I told him 3 or 4 weeks ago, I said, Brett, y'all got a Super Bowl contender. I'm not going. I said, y'all got a Super Bowl contender. So
yeah, they're definitely a year ahead of schedule, because other Patriot fans that I spoke to in the offseason coming in were optimistic about a playoff berth, but they didn't quite feel that they were all the way there for Buffalo. And this is a weird one, because I've said it before that if the Patriots run into Buffalo, maybe Buffalo gets them when it counts, because Buffalo does have a lot of experience. But, we have to see where it goes. Chicago Bears, renewing the oldest rivalry in the NFL. I did pick the Packers to win this game. Gentlemen, how do you see this thing going?
I got the Packers. I'm gonna go 30-21 Pack.
So we're all on the Packers.
Go, my man.
Yeah, I'm on the Packers too, boys. A lot of Josh Jacobs is going to be running all over that team. At least if I'm them, that's what I do. I mean, Jaden Reed's coming back too. That's the number one wide receiver. As much as they don't really have a number one wide receiver, he's the do-it-all wide receiver for them. I like the Green Bay Packers to win 30-24.
How many sacks for? How many times you think Mike could get to Caleb Williams?
1. Caleb can run. Caleb can scramble. So
he gets to him 4 times. He sacks him once.
I think he gets him once.
Caleb has done a great job of playing Houdini back there and avoiding sacks. I got to give him that.
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna say 1.
All right, Los Angeles Rams, powerhouse. They're not losing 2 in a row. It took a really not pedestrian game, but some pedestrian moments on Matthew Stafford's behalf. He's an MVP candidate for sure. I think that they're going to have a field day with that Arizona secondary. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams are going to go wild. I think Stafford gets back to, just feeling good, looking good, and putting up some terrific numbers, and the Rams for an easy victory. I already gave my finals earlier, but Idris, Shed, how do you guys feel?
35.
Good.
35. I want to say 20, but I don't know. I'm gonna just say 20.
31-24, but it's not going to be as close as that score says.
Yeah, that's how I was thinking. That's why I was like, yeah. The Rams left here really hurt, and people here in Carolina they still jumping around.
Good for them. That was a big win.
Yeah,
Biggest
wild.
win in their franchise for quite some time.
It's wild here, dude.
Every win that they get against anybody of any kind of notoriety is their biggest win because they haven't done anything in so long. So good for them.
But that was a real good win, though.
Seattle Seahawks are traveling to Atlanta. I'm expecting a cakewalk for the Seahawks here, as Kirk Cousins, I think, is going to be under duress and probably throws at least 2 picks. He's going to be on that quarterback series again, being like, why am I still here?
Yeah.
But that's what I got there.
Cowboys got away. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go 28. I'm gonna go 28-20. No, I'm not. We'll go 28-17.
I'm going to go 31-10. I mean, that Seattle defense is legit, fellas. Leonard Williams in the middle, and I still hate your freaking guts for you, the Giants letting him go.
Me too.
Oh, I hate your guts. And then now they have DeMarcus Lawrence too. Dude, that tandem has been absolutely monstrous.
Both came from our division.
So
yeah, D-Law, D-Law doesn't have the same star power that he had in Dallas because a lot of people
he doesn't need it.
Forget that he's there. But that man scored 2 touchdowns in 1 game this year.
It's half of an Al Bundy, boys, on defense.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You say you score was what again?
31-10.
Okay.
Seattle.
Yeah, I could see it. Be ugly.
All right. Cincinnati Bengals in Western New York taking on the Bills. The Bengals find themselves in a weird position because they actually could win this division because of the mediocrity between the Steelers and the Ravens combined. But even if this is the last game Cincinnati loses this year, 8-9 might still be enough to win the North. I do like Buffalo here in a high-scoring affair. I did predict Buffalo to win 34-27 on the strength of James Cook and Josh Allen having big days. But that Buffalo defense is not what it once was, and it's going to be exposed in the playoffs.
Yeah, the wins. Yeah, Constantly. You can go ahead.
Oh, based on what you just said, Richie, I think that defense is going to be their problem with Joe Burrow lighting things up on all cylinders. They gave that whole team a lot more hope than they've had since he went out. Going in to Baltimore and beating them the way they did, I mean, that swagger is just going to carry into Buffalo, and that defense showed up. You know what I mean?
That was the biggest shock.
That's just it. So I mean, that defense showing that kind of prowess. Against, one of the premier. I mean, I know Lamar's banged up, but man, 3 turnovers on Lamar, that hasn't happened in like 4 years. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over that much. And now, man, those Bengals I think they got a fire under their ass now, man. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals on the upset. I'll take the Bengals to win 38-31.
Everything Carson Wentz said, because I got this. I'm on the same thing. They had the worst defense in the league. Now these guys are playing. Like, what happened? They got Joe Flacco and everything just they changed. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm calling the opposite, man. I'm gonna go 34-31 Cincy, man.
Well, the Bengals have had a history of giving Buffalo the business in the playoffs in Western New York. Before the fateful night where we almost lost Damar Hamlin, it looked like the Bengals were in position to rock Buffalo. The game never actually got recorded.
Right.
But, I did pick the Bills, but both you guys make valuable points that could make me wrong here. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens, the premier rivalry in today's NFL, but this year neither one of these teams are performing at the best level. Shed, you mentioned something about Lamar. The last time I remember Lamar committing turnovers that quickly like that, you got to take it back to 2022. His only loss to the NFC at the time, I don't know if that's still his only loss, was actually to the New York Giants, who quickly forced two turnovers and evaporated, I think, a 10 or 11 point lead and ended up winning. The 22 Giants did. So I remember the very rare situation. Lamar threw a pick and then Lamar got a strip sack by K5. It was just like a remarkable set of events that the Giants stole one from a very good Raven team that year.
Seattle picked it off. Who went to Seattle? What was it? He was a corner. I mean, safety, but he played corner too. That's who picked it off. He plays in Seattle now. I can't remember his name.
Oh, you're talking about Julian Love.
Love, yeah, that's who picked it off. Yeah,
out of Notre Dame, yes, sir.
Yeah, yep. I just want you to say Notre Dame. That's all.
I know. As this game goes, the way I put it was,
Lane Kiffin.
Neither one of these teams are doing a lot well right now, but the Steelers look way worse than the Ravens look on their worst day. As I think the Steeler offense is broken, and I think that's the reason why they get beat here. I'm going to politely give them 17 points, but 17 to Baltimore's either 27 or 30. I'm going to lean on 27. 27-17 in favor of the home team.
30-17 home team.
Yeah, actually, I'm Baltimore as well, boys. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to win 29 and the Pittsburgh Steelers 19.
Dude, that team.
All right. Drum roll, please. Shed, hit your music.
Uh-oh.
Indiana Jones.
In the Temple of Doom, what is a broken fibula?
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
When you get banished out of East Rutherford, New Jersey, what is being a practice squad safety? Daniel Jones, what is a quarterback coming from basketball school? All right. Daniel Jones has been through it this past month, as has his team. I did predict the boys from Duval to win a close one here by a final of 27-23. Idris, tell me why I'm wrong.
When your quarterback has a broken fibula, you got to rely on the running game. And with Daniel Jones, part of that running game is him, because they led the league in red zone scoring up until they got Houston. They were like 21 out of 21.
And we saw D. Jones do some magical shit in Duval a few years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, we did right there in the end zone too. So
him and Saquon, a dual record for the team.
Yep, but I don't think it. I think this time, when you can't use your legs, and that's one of your strengths, they're gonna have to lean on Jonathan Taylor, and he hasn't looked that good, man.
It's gonna require a trip for you to go to Duval to reignite the magic and sit in the Bob Uecker seats. It's the only way.
Yeah, man.
So you're with me. So you're with me here, Idris.
I'm gonna go with you, man. I don't want to because I'm Indiana Jones, but it's just too much, man. And them boys from Duke football, they're actually winning at home finally. So hey,
I have no reason to ask for this again other than just being an obnoxious bastard, but please hit the music.
So Indiana Jones is going to ride into Jacksonville in the quest for the Lombardi Trophy with a broken fibula. Boys, here's the thing. The Jacksonville Jaguars have two of their best defensive players not playing against the Indianapolis Colts.
Uh-oh, I didn't know that.
So that's a big hit. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember their names, but I know that they're most important players as far as pass rush goes. It's not Jonathan Hines Allen, it's the other two.
So you saying I could change my pick?
So I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts to win the game. I think that defense is going to be exploited just a little bit. I know that they're going to be coming after Indiana Jones because of the broken fibula, but Indianapolis as a whole is more healthier than Jacksonville. And Jacksonville does not play well at home. Indianapolis has Jonathan Taylor, who has the most rushing yards in the league this year. They still have Michael Pittman. They still have Tyler Warren. They still have Alec Pierce, blah, blah, blah. And that defense is nothing to bat an eye at either. And Trevor Lawrence, I still don't know if he's the guy.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
I don't
So he's probably due for a pick or two. I
You
mean,
still
there's
don't know
probably
if he is a guy, or you don't know if he is the guy.
he's the guy. He's not.
Oh.
I'm saying I'm not sure he's the
So
guy.
he is a guy. You just don't know if he is the guy.
Correct. But
Damn,
Travis, I think you're going to see a lot of Travis Etienne, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, boys. Give me Indiana Jones in the quest for the Lombardi Trophy to go through Jacksonville, 28-23. Colts.
One more time.
Well, you know something? Play the music. You know something? Now that I know the Jaguars are down to defensive men, I'm raging now. I just said Jacksonville. He's going. I just said Jacksonville may win, but I never said a score. So, with that being said, I'm going Indiana Jones and no
One other tidbit here. The Colts did release Michael
28,
Badgley.
21 Indiana Jones. There we go.
The Colts released Michael Badgley.
Yeah.
After he missed his third extra point. It could be worse. I mean, at least he kicked the ball.
Yeah, right. He kicked the
At least
dirt.
he kicked it, you know?
Before we go, let me tell you what happened today. Now on my bed, I got New York Giant blankets, pillowcase, and all that stuff. And behind my green screen, I have a New York Giants flag. I had some people inspect my house today because I had some leakage. So two guys came and said, "Hey, what's up, man?" They looked at my bed. I said, "Look, don't say nothing." First thing they said, "Man, I just gotta ask you, what about that kick?" I said, "What kick, man?" I said, "He never kicked the ball." Yeah, so I got hell today for that because of that.
Poor fella.
For some maintenance.
Eric Armstead and Trayvon Walker are the two that will not be playing.
And I paid for
That's
them.
big for their D-line right there, boys. That's big.
That's the same Trayvon Walker that was picked ever so high. They could have won a different direction.
Yeah, Lawrence throws 2 picks, man.
All right. And are you concerned about the Indiana kicking game?
You said what about who?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You know it would be real heroic if
Yeah.
Daniel Jones volunteers to kick with the broken fibula.
Ooh, he does that, then comeback player of the year.
Absolutely.
Playing through that broken fibula, and if the Colts make the playoffs, he still probably will be.
Yeah.
All right. Before we hit on the final game, because after I went through these games, when Shed showed up, we brought him back from the back to the front. So I'm going to hit on the Tampa game before we talk about your favorite team, Idris, the Dallas Cowboys. New Orleans Saints 2-10, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-5. Mike Evans, good news for him, back in the practice window. He's not going to play this week, but just the fact that he's practicing means that he should be good to go no later than week 16, week 15, 16, something like that, probably 16. So for the fantasy playoffs, that's a good thing. For owners of Mike, if you're still in it, he could be a championship day start. The Bucs are going to win. That's all I got because they're playing the Saints. There's not much to say.
At home.
Yeah, man.
You got a score?
The cannon's going to be firing. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win 31-13.
I'm going
to go 34-13.
I think my prediction was along the lines of like 27-10 or something like that. But yeah, we're all on the Bucs. And closing out the week, or actually opening the week tomorrow, closing out the show, the Dallas Cowboys 6-5-1, very much looking like not just a potential NFC East champion, but a team that is reinvigorated. I talked about how tragedy can sometimes galvanize a team. And when I look at this Dallas team, I don't see the stench of Jerry Jones, Mussolini Mike, the problems of not getting past round 2, all this other stuff. I see a team that is playing with house money that believes in themselves. And that's a dangerous combination, the power of suggestion and a hot team going into the final month of the season. Mm-hmm. On the other side, Dan Campbell, I'll be honest with you. A couple of years ago, Brett and I saw the NFC title game. And when he made those reckless decisions to take points off the board and ultimately lose to the 49ers, I told Brett, I don't think this team's going to get as close as they just got. They're going to have some good years, but they'll never get this close again. And this game will live in Lions infamy. Mm-hmm. You fast forward 2 years later, This is a team that had the best record in the NFL a year ago, but they got whooped on by the Washington Commanders because the Lions, in large part, were decimated on defense. This year, it hasn't been the injuries as much as it's just been the sporadic performances. The Green Bay Packers whipped them on defense. They had no answers for anything the Packers were doing.
Yep.
And this is another high-powered offense. And this is an offense, in my opinion, that is more talented and better than Green Bay. And I think that this is going to be a high-scoring affair, but I think this is a game that Dallas is going to win.
All right.
And
What you got to score? You ain't got to score?
I got Dallas winning by a touchdown, 34-27. I think it might not be as close as the score where Detroit gets a real late one.
You know when this team turned it around? Remember when I posted that video about Jerry Jones saying how he likes
stirring up the shit?
That he said, when things get slow, I stir shit up. That After that week is when they started winning.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he nailed it. And you know what? They don't look like what they look like in the early part of the year.
They don't have that same kind of stench on them, in my opinion. They just look like a team. They look like a team that's going to do something.
I think with them, I think it's going to be high. I think they're both very I'm going to give you my score. I'm going to say 34-31 Detroit, but it might be 37-34. I'm going to go 37-34 because Detroit's not going to be able to stop Pickens and CD.
Not to mention, you don't have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Right, and you go, yeah. And
so Tesla needs to step up.
He's going to be hard to stop. Now, on the flip, they don't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they have Montgomery and they have Gibbs. And them guys can run. And I think they'll attack that Dallas defense line. Say, let's see what you really got in there, because they really haven't been tested that much.
They gotta test them. You gotta give them a heavy dose of Gibbs. I said that at the top of the hour when I started the show.
Yes, I'm gonna go 34-31 Detroit, or it could go 37-34. I'm gonna go 34-31 3-point lead. Field goal wins the game.
So you got Detroit winning.
Yeah, only because they're at home.
Right.
Only because they're at home.
All right, Shed, what you got?
Idris hit a good point that I wanted to bring up was a lot of Giants fans, Cowboys fans hated the trade that they made, and I thought they gave up way too much, and I still think they gave up too much. But ever since Overshown came back, Trayvon Diggs should be coming back, Quinnen Williams in the middle, and they have Clark there, stuff in the run too. Their defense is completely like renewed now. Like that defense is not what it was at the beginning of the season.
They're a different unit.
Yeah,
it just completely changed. Their outlook, and like Jerry Jones, like everybody hates Jerry Jones. He's ruining the team, but man, there's a method to his madness, fellas. I don't know. I love when the Cowboys suck. I'm not gonna lie, and I love Jerry Jones in charge of them because he's a lot of the reason they have sucked. But these trades that he made are doing dividends for that team. It completely revitalized them.
Yeah,
and Dak's having a career year. CeeDee Lamb's back from his high ankle sprain. George Pickens is looking like the premier number one receiver that he was in Pittsburgh, but never had a good quarterback to throw him the ball. Yeah. Javonte Williams has revived his career.
Yes.
Jake Ferguson is still playing very well. Yep. And so where I'm going to go with Detroit is Amon-Ra St. Brown is probably not going to play. And if he does, he's going to be very limited. He's got that ankle sprain that's not very good. They have no Sam Laporta. He's gone for the year.
Yeah.
And that defense has not had any swagger at all whatsoever. Aiden Hutchinson is still a great pass rusher, but he's not who he was before he broke his leg last year. I think that Dallas is going to go into Detroit and blow the doors off them. I just don't see much of a fight just because of everything I just listed. Give me Dallas to win 35, Detroit 20.
You know something shit about Jerry Jones? Like I said, I can't stand the Cowboys, period. But I do like Jerry Jones also because he pretty much kept them from winning. But Jerry Jones made a point when he said, none of the stuff he's done, all the antics he's done, never stopped him from drafting a good player, because Jerry knows how to draft. It never stopped them from throwing a pass or nothing. What he does off the field with his talking and all that, that should not affect the way y'all play. He said, I get y'all the best players. He said that. It never stopped.
I liken that their brand and the whole operation.
Yeah.
Super similar, and I say this every time he comes up, to George Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
Back in when he was super flamboyant, throwing the money around in Yankee world.
Mm-hmm. Jerry is.
They're the same kind of owner.
I like Jerry. Yeah, I like Jerry because Jerry charismatic. He's funny as hell. you know what his plan is. He does want to win, but he wants to be, like he said, I want to be relevant. That's his
the center of attention.
Yeah, and I can't be mad at him for that because I mean, the guy's in his 80s. He's like, look, I want to be all that. I like Jerry. I sincerely like Jerry Jones. I don't like the Cowboys.
Brett loves him too.
Yeah, I love Jerry Jones. I love Jerry Jones. I just don't like the team. I don't like the fans.
I'll tell you something that I don't like, and I want a little round table on this before we call it a night.
Yeah.
Recently, Joe Shane, general manager of the New York Giants, was kind of called out / asked, Brian Dable and Shane Bowen pay the ultimate price. They get canned. You and Dable come in together. Why is it that the same circumstances and ramifications haven't been applied to you? Shane seemed shaken by the question, in my estimation, and didn't seem like a guy that was very confident in his ability to right the ship that is the New York Football Giants. I wanted your opinion, guys, before we get out of here. Is Joe Shane dead man walking?
I don't know, man. I mean, I heard him also say he basically said he is at fault for a lot of the problems. So, I mean,
you gotta show accountability.
Yeah,
but when you say you don't make the same mistake twice,
yeah,
I'm like, no, you don't. You make the same mistake 4 times because you still haven't drafted a good offensive lineman.
Yeah,
anything that the O-line has done is basically predicated off of free agent additions and guys that you brought in that are good. And Andrew Thomas is your best one. Gettleman drafted him.
I think John might Smith, but he's been okay, but not what
Runyon's okay. Picked him up a free agency.
Yeah.
Illuminor's been good when he's healthy. The thing I'm getting at is he's failed miserably on the O-line. You struck out royally on Kayvon Thibodeau. Not the fact that he's not a good football player, but he's not good enough to be drafted where he was.
No.
You did get Neighbors. You did trade up for Dart, and you did get Tracy and Scatterbo in back-to-back years, reforming your running back room after Saquon Barkley left. But my thing is this. For the high-profile position, when you're in the biggest media market in the world, you have to be better than that. And that's where I'm at with it. And I do believe that he might actually get fired. And I think Mara's just waiting to see what the intangibles are in terms of, do we get a new GM to get the coach? Do we get a coach that has to bring his GM with him? Like I think this is all what's going on in Giant Land right now. But truthfully, I think the safest decision, I want Spags personally with AP running the defense.
Oh, yeah.
But the safest decision is probably Mike McCarthy.
Especially
if you want to preserve the health of young Jackson Dart, because Mike McCarthy will definitely transform him into more of a pocket presence.
Yeah, with Shane, I agree. I think he's done, but helping them find a coach. That means you find a coach, you fire him, and now you got to bring in the GM. You're like, well, the GM has to deal with. You
make a good point, because it is a little more complex getting rid of a GM than it is getting rid of a coach, whether we like the GM or not. So you do make a good point there, Idris.
Yeah, see that's why I'm like, other than thinking about that, I think he's dead man walking. And rightfully so. Dable's gone, Bowen's gone. The only one who's been consistent, and I can give him credit, was back to 2023 or 2022, 2023 when he went to the playoffs.
I think the only thing that could save his ass is that his he basically hit a home run on running back 1, wide receiver 1, and quarterback 1. And on that particular team, on that side of the ball, those are the 3 most important positions outside of left tackle, which the previous GM addressed for him.
Yeah, I want Mike McCarthy, and I want him to keep Kafka as the OC. Give that man some more money, keep him, because like Kafka was saying about the thing, well, he was in the defensive room, he didn't have much say so, but the way he was talking, like, I wanted Bowen gone.
The thing I like about Kafka is that he's holding people accountable.
And that's something we haven't had a coach since Coughlin.
You got to go back to TC.
Yeah, and that's
because even Jim Fossil, great guy, may he rest in peace.
What?
But Jim Fossil was a little too chummy, so to speak. Because I'll never forget when Fossil bailed out Keith Hamilton from jail, and I'm like, I get it, because believe me, Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick would have done the same shit for Lawrence Taylor.
Oh yeah.
But in the 2000s, you don't do that when you're the head coach.
Yo, that.
You know, Parcells would have had a convoy picking up LT off the Jersey Turnpike if he was walking shirtless. That's another era and another day.
With an armored car too, everything like.
Yeah, the whole lick. Yeah, he just needs 2 hours to clean it up. Okay, that's all.
So if you guys are going to keep Joe Schoen, so you have two options: you keep him and you hire a coach, and you just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Or do you do what the 49ers did in a couple other franchises, where you wipe the slate clean, you get the same GM and the same coach that want to work together to rebuild that franchise and turn it around, and they're going to work together for a better tomorrow. Or you're going to hire a head coach that already knows Shane's there and just going to have to work with him and already his vision. It really depends on how Mara wants to do that. Now, can Shane turn it around to, and hire, let's say he hires McCarthy and McCarthy buys in and, they do all this fun stuff and they become successful. Okay. Or do you just wipe the slate saying, you know what, we've been down for 10 plus years, whatever it is. Let's wipe the slate clean. Let's get two new guys in here that will work together, that come in together and completely change the regime, the environment, the locker room, and everybody buys in. And remember, you have a young team. So this is a very good time to do that. So
and I'm curious.
That's what I do.
And I'm curious to see if that new GM is already somebody in the building. Do you bump up Brandon Brown?
Right. Yeah, I think with wiping the slate would be right. I think with Shane, I think he knows. Okay, let's talk about Brian Dable. Now that he's fired, and the stuff coming out with how Kafka's doing things, how the plays are, and just when you start looking back at Brian Dable's history, you start saying, well, he was a hard hit. He was hard to get along with because that's why Wink Martindale left.
Wink Martindale was undermined on every step of the way.
Yeah. And then now when you hear how is Kafka talking and how some of the players talking, the way they sound is like Dable wanted his hand in, like Jerry. He wanted to be like Jerry Jones, like with the defense. He wanted to say what the defense did. That's why he didn't get rid of Shane Bowen.
I lost a great amount of respect for Dable when he tried to get into the medical tent. That was so damn unprofessional.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for him in that moment.
One.
He said, what?
He wasn't the only one. You can all hate on Scatterbo, but you never will. But you should.
I could forgive a rookie more than a tenured head coach.
Now I'm not saying he was the only one, but it's coming out that like when he got fired.
When you're the coach, you got to hold yourself to a higher standard.
Yeah, see, they were saying that he would never hold himself, because if you look at all the interviews, he never put anything on himself, and they were saying he would never, like even with the defense, the way Kafka and them was saying, like he would be in the defensive room telling.
The thing I like,
and it's like
the thing I like about what Kafka's doing is that it takes a grand set of balls when you're on an interim basis and you only have a month to win over the ownership to even consider you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're over here benching one of your more talented defensive players because of behavior issues or whatever it is that's going on behind the scenes that a lot of us are not privy to.
He needs to be.
Yeah. And it takes a grand set.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, I would either get Mike McCarthy or Steve Spagnuolo, but I wouldn't mind Mike Kafka coming back. And Mike Kafka and Steve Spagnuolo have been in the same places with each other because Kafka has been around.
Yep.
Let me ask you guys this. Yep. We're talking about the Giants. So Tibbs is coming up. You want to extend him? You're going to take his 5th-year option? What are you doing?
I think what they're going to do, whether it's what's best for the organization or not, I think with some of the off the field practice bullshit, whatever's going on with Carter, I think is actually favorable for Thibodeau.
Yeah.
But I do think Thibodeau gets franchised. I don't think they're going to add more years, unless if it's something that.
Well, they can say his 5th-year option and not tag him though. So his 5th-year option's coming up, so they can sign that to keep him for one more year, or they can extend him.
So that's the case. You pick up the option.
He's got 2.5 sacks. I'll be honest. I thought he'd be a lot more productive. I also thought Dexter Lawrence was going to actually light the place up with Brian Burns and add.
He's the biggest disappointment of the season.
Yeah,
and I personally think that he put on some unwanted weight while recovering from injury, and I don't think he's in the same shape that he used to be in. And I also think that for athletes, when your performance starts going down the toilet, you start losing confidence in yourself. And I think Dexy has lost some confidence in himself personally.
That's
But
fair
we
to
used
say.
to stop the run. We used to stop the run, but this year we couldn't stop the run for nothing.
The worst run defense in the
Dexy
NFL.
went from being a perennial Pro Bowler, all pro caliber talent.
Yeah.
To, I'm sorry.
He's nasty when he's
He's
healthy.
just a guy now.
In shape. Yeah.
Just another guy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Dexter Lawrence. As Kayvon Thibodeau goes, sack numbers have obviously not been there.
Yeah.
One of his stronger suits in his game was he was a decent run defender on a bad run defending defense. But I do think that they're going to pick up the option and see what they could do with K5.
So sign. I agree. I think you guys sign him for the 5th year option, but no extension. And it's a play in. So if you play to your contract,
Gotcha.
we'll extend you in the offseason. If not, we're going to let you walk, and good luck with whoever you sign with after that kind of thing.
Yep.
I think it's the right
And
move.
the hope is that Carter's balling out by that point.
Yeah.
The more reps he
balling out.
hits the treadmill in the offseason and gets in a little bit better shape.
I'm gonna put a number here.
Mm-hmm.
As you both know, the New York Giants are the only franchise to win a Super Bowl in each of the last 4 decades. That is pretty soon going to be spoken about and talked about. This is in jeopardy to keep the 5th decade going.
Yeah.
How many years will it be until we see the New York Giants, not just as a formidable playoff team, but as a legit contender? They do have some pieces, but direction is a big question that can either make or break the future. Shed, I'll start with you.
Okay, yeah.
How many years until the Giants are right, or is this just not going to get right?
No, I don't get right. I mean, you have a lot of this is why I brought up the Joe Shane and bringing in a whole new regime, because everybody's young. You have a very young team, and they're very and you're talented. The pieces are there. You just don't have the puzzle, the vision. So, if you get the right head coach in there, and even the right GM for that matter, I would say in 2 years you could be full line contenders. My biggest issue with you is you don't really have a good sideline to sideline linebacker. Your offensive line is, yes, you have Andrew Thomas. I'm not saying he sucks, but the rest of them, they're makeshift. They do their job, but they're not Pro Bowlers. They're not all pros. They don't have to be. You just have to do your job. You still don't have a career tight end. I like Scat a lot. I like Tracy's formidable. Neighbors is your definitely number one. Wandell has showed up. He was always lying in the weeds because of Neighbors, and he's still there. He's the number one right now, and he's playing like it. Jackson Dart's your answer at quarterback. Your defensive line is absolutely ferocious if they're healthy and they're in shape. Your back end, like a Debo, Banksy, you probably need a couple more pieces there and a good strong
And
safety.
I'm starting to believe that Holland was a poor decision in the money.
Javon Holland, yeah. Well, your special teams aren't great either. You know what I mean?
That's an understatement.
That's what I mean. That's what hurt the Niners a lot over the years, was that they were last in special teams effectiveness, and they've been good at special teams this year. But you got to have a good kicker, you got to have a good kick and punt returner, and be able to block and make all those.
Where I try to hold out a little hope is just based on the fact that they had the toughest schedule in the NFL, and they were in so many games that they ended up blowing. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just a big question mark. Idris, final thought. What are we looking at?
I'm with Chip. Everything he said. I was going to say the same thing. Exact same thing. Get the good right coach in 2 years.
I appreciate the analysis. I'm trying to be hopeful because, truthfully, I'm not one of those fans that I start having a shit fit when things have been bad. But I must admit, when I think about what the New York Giants meant to me in terms of an image in the 80s, even in the 90s, even when we had that bad quarterback carousel of Danny Cannell and Pete Graham, and before him, Dave Brown.
Dave Brown.
Dang it. The point is, I never felt that hopeless that we were that far or that misdirected. But I must admit, you talk to older Giant fans like Idris or guys like Quentin, or even a family member that was drafted by the Giants like an Emery Moorhead. When you're talking about the Parsarchik era before Parcells got there, then Rutledge and Sims and Haas and all that shit. This dark period of Giants football on some metrics does mirror the nightmarish Pisarcik era that produced the original Miracle at the Meadowlands.
That's when I started watching during the Pisarcik era. Trust me. 4-11. My first season watching the Giants. I cried.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at with it. There's certain things that can't be denied, but there are some pieces there, and there are some reasons for hope. But at the same time, it's very delicate on will they make the right decisions, because unfortunately, since Tom Coughlin erroneously was let go of,
Yeah.
the right person has not walked in the building, and that's something that, as a Giant fan, I just cannot deny.
Right. Now, I'm with you, man. Hey, before we get out of here, I got to show y'all a picture. Now, I don't know how clear I am on y'all's end, but on my end, Shed looks kind of crazy. Now, take a look at this photo and tell me what's wrong with it. Hold on a second. Now, look. Can you see it? What's wrong with Shed's eye?
It looks like
That looks like Sloth from the Goonies. Hey, you guys!
he looks like Sheamus after Rusev kicked him in the head.
Dude, when you were talking Shed, but it was like that for like 5 minutes.
Oh, did I freeze? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, I heard everything he was saying though.
Oh, my camera just went wonky.
And I was looking at the picture. I was like, he's not moving. And then I seen the one eye. I said, man, he froze.
That shows you where my attention level was, because I didn't even realize it.
Dude,
But-
no, it was froze on my end. I was
Okay.
and I said, let me get a snapshot of this so I can show them at the end.
But this was an interesting show, because
It was like 20
when
minutes
you arrived
ago.
late, I thought I was looking at a solo 30-minute jam.
Oh, nah.
Shed shows up when I was going over my final game, and I said, oh, good. So then I decided to go over all the rest of the games,
Yeah.
and then you drop in, and next thing you know, we got an hour and a half show, so it works out.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Sorry, I was tardy to the party. But
That photo literally happened like right after I logged in and started talking. And I was like, damn, they're not moving. Well, Richie was moving. You wasn't. I said, damn. And when I realized your eye, I said, now I know Shed got two eyes. I've never seen him with one eye.
I hope so. We got enough shows together.
Look, I was
That's
like,
why
Shed,
the Vikings let him go.
look, I was like, either my thing froze or Shed is drunk as hell. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I haven't touched
And then Idris,
so no, that ain't me.
and then Idris started thinking into it too deeply, and he's like, "Oh no!"
Nah, I
He
know
started. He remembered the Wags episodes.
Oh my goodness.
Let me just see your face.
So Zappy goes on this like 15-minute tangent about what he would do to fix the Brooklyn Nets, detailed as detailed could be. And then the second Zappy stops talking, Wags like leans into the camera. Looks like he's about to fall on his face. And then he's like, "But Zappy, you gotta break it down. What would you do if you're in control of the Brooklyn Nets?" About 4 seconds later, Idris in private chat says, "Get this fool the hell out of here."
He was lit. Wags
Yeah, he was on.
lit.
Yeah, he was.
First up a story. Yeah, I was like, yo, we gotta get him out of here.
Sounded like a damn gremlin. He sounded like Hank the Angry Dorth on the old Howard Stern show.
I like Wags, man. I liked Wags, dude. I really did, man. It's a shame that he just crashed, man. But he was.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm about to go look for that episode and make it.
He's a Colts fan, so hopefully he's in better spirits now.
Being happy.
I don't know, man. That was a different one. I don't know. I don't know.
That was wild. I'm going to go back. Here we go.
It's our send-off music, boys.
Yeah.
For Shed and for Idris, thank you for tuning in to the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the show on YouTube. Check out the V-Mix, the Vicious Mix with our guy, Idris Salam, on live365.com. Check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show. Every other Monday or every other Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Today is a Wednesday, which means they're probably in action right now. Check out our friends at the Sports Corner, Johnny Nast, as well as Joe Gallagher. And check out the Bleed Blue podcast. For Idris and for Shed, I am Richie.
Perfect.
Have a great night, everyone. We'll be back in a couple of... That is something right there. Look at that. Only a face a mother could love. We out.
Bye.